Hello, here I am back again from my lobotomy. Hello, here I am back again from my lobotomy, pretending that you realised I was even gone. But in the case you were in fact left devastated in my absence, you would be forgiven because, believe it or not, on an eponymously named podcast, I am in fact the main character. So fear not, for those of you who fear, for I have reappeared. But despite the aggressive candour that most people approach the internet with, I shall not be sharing everything with you because I think there are some things that the internet do not need to know. Faithful listeners of the educational podcast will know that I leave little nuggets throughout my videos, but no video shall ever contain more than a total of 3 nuggets. So you're going to have to watch the entire backlog to understand what is biographical and what is fictional for effect. This is not going to be a video that details my clinical insanity. Feel free to critique the baitish title if you so wish, but understand that this is nothing more than strategic marketing, which is essentially your fault. And I feel I have a pass to utilise it because, in the 2 categories of which my content exists, clinical insanity in fact exists under this one. But ask yourself why this is even considered bait, whatever the academic term for it is. Because the internet is obsessed with mental illness and neurodivergency. And not in the same way that someone might be obsessed with the macabre, like a horror film, or My 600-Pound Life, in a way that it is desirable. A competition to be the illest. An individuality complex so severe you need to be diagnosed to be validated, which in my opinion, wanting a diagnosis for attention or faking symptoms for attention is abnormal and should be looked into as a symptom anyway, just maybe not a symptom of the desired diagnosis, but in any which case that is bizarre behaviour, and unfortunately you will not be diagnosed as one of the cute ones. For example, ADHD is portrayed as cute and quirky, so you make a TikTok on it pathologizing completely normal behavior, telling others if they see this behavior in themselves they also have ADHD. And I'm not here to say whether people actually have ADHD or not. I'm not the ADHD police, but I do think it's important to note that having a diagnosis does not qualify you to assess and diagnose ADHD. Unless the TikTok has been made by a doctor, you should probably leave it alone, because a lot of the videos begin to sound very familiar.
Okay, today we're doing symptoms of ADHD that are not talked about enough at all. One is the hyperfixations. The hyperfixations are crazy. And this could be with anything. It could be with a song. Literally last week, I listened to the same song all week long. This can be with food. I will pick a food and I will just eat that food. And that's all I think about and that's all I want to eat for week-long time periods. This can be with clothing items. Also, I wear the same exact outfit going out all the time because it's my comfort outfit. All my friends are like, oh my God, just wear your comfort outfit. Let's go. It's a joke, but I wear the same thing. This can also be with a person. It could be a celebrity, or then you could pick a person and that is your hyperfixation obsession. It's all you can think about. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was just kind of insane, but it is your ADHD.
Here's how to tell if a girl has ADHD in under 1 minute. These signs are going to be weirdly specific and probably creep you out a little bit.
Here are things that I find so incredibly chic. All of these are very niche.
Have music on for everything and noise on in order to sleep. But if someone else is playing music that she's not in control of and it's too loud, she can't hear herself think and she's overstimulated.
The first is a short, clean, and perfect manicure. When I say a short, clean manicure, I mean short.
I unfortunately have not been diagnosed as one of the cute ones. I have been in and out of hospital since my adolescence, detained, sectioned, resuscitated, tranquilized, hypnotized, and the only thing left is an exorcism. So you don't want to be in this competition with me. Believe me, I never lose, and this is no exception. While you were being kicked out of boarding school, I was being kicked out of therapy. Do you know what percentage of the population has ever had their Section 3 renewed? Twice? Neither do I. But if you want any chance of winning the competition, this video should get 1 million views, because at 50,000 that percentage only has to be 0.002 for me to have statistically won. In conclusion, this is not a competition, but if it was, I would win. The reality is I don't think I will ever recover, and the people around me will forever live to keep me alive. And that's the reason why I have no friends, because no one deserves to work that hard on a friendship. I only address it now because I came up with this and thought I owed you something. Or if I didn't necessarily owe you something, there would forever be a question of the elephant in the room had I not addressed it now. But honestly, I'm fine. I'm so fine. This period of time was nothing in the scheme of things that have ever gone wrong before. So really, I think you're being a bit dramatic and you need to calm down and stop being so serious. I just took a holiday. This was just a holiday. Because my job is so hard. This is absolutely not a recovery podcast, neither will it ever be, because I think they're weird and unhealthy. Like, imagine you are recovering from a bad breakup. You make content on it to relieve yourself of the burden of doing it alone or harassing your friends with it. But it actually becomes very successful. You end up making it your profession, and so you rely on it for your income. And you have to make content on it for the rest of your career because that's why people watch you. How are you ever going to let that go? Furthermore, it is the ultimate marketing strategy to metaphorically relapse with your ex because it creates an engaging storyline. Just imagine that, but with a mental illness. With that in mind, this is an educational podcast, not a recovery account. Download the video now, because I am prone to deleting things when I realise I've overshared. Here is how being clinically insane has shaped my view of fashion. Is that too much? Anyway, let's carry on.
Oh. That's it, I'm not going.
Oh, actually, let me adjust the microphone situation first. I know that many people are bothered by the microphone. This is the best situation you are ever going to get, okay? I know everyone was really annoyed with me holding it in front of my mouth. I have a little clip here, why don't you just clip it to yourself? It's because you cannot hear me if I talk like this. Don't lie to me, you can't hear me. So you do actually have to hold it in your hand. And I'm going to continue doing that. For this being the first time I appear on your screens after a mild break, I thought I would treat you to the proper microphone. You're welcome. I've said many times before that I'm incredibly fickle. I change my mind all the time. I don't lie. I never lie. But I do change my mind. I say what I believe in the moment, and when my environment changes, I change my mind and adapt to the situation. So, with regret, I came up with this. Colours that I like are white, cream, black, grey, silver, navy blue, and blue. Normal blue. I dislike everything else. So that was the most boring thing I've ever said in my life, and I wholeheartedly disagree. Ignore the fact that I said that. That was incredibly boring. I now, with my new lease of life, enjoy colour, and I don't think this is actually necessarily anything to do with mental health. This shift is true for the majority of the population. If you are a Northern Hemisphere dweller, we are moving into summer, and in the summer, people tend to wear more colour. I actually have a list. Let me go through my list with you. I have a list of colours I enjoy. I love making lists. It's titled Fun Outfits. I have a variety of things on here that I want to talk to you about. But first, as we're on the topic, let's talk about colourways. Actually, I think the most popular colour at the moment that I'm seeing on the internet is this minty turquoise colour. I despise it. I absolutely despise it. I think it's so ugly. Colours that I like are white, cream, black, grey, silver, navy blue, and blue. Colourways deemed worthy enough to be written down are black and neon green, black and neon orange, yellow and green, and pink and purple. So with the black and neon green and black and neon orange, another topic I have underneath all of my lists, motifs and patterns, I am horrendously obsessed with neon orange flames and neon green flames, Flying Dutchman style. Underneath my motifs and patterns, I've got flaming skull. Anyway, also yellow and green. I was on the lookout the other day for some Havaianas, some Brazil on Brazil Havaianas. Yellow and green is a great colour combination. I'm very envious to any Brazilians, Australians, South Africans that you get to patriotically wear yellow and green. And then also pink and purple. Pink and purple just because I think it's a cute combination. And also red. I've definitely said before that I hate the colour red, which was probably true at the time. As I say, I cannot tell a lie. But I think necessarily it's not the colour red that I dislike. It's the sandwich method, or the pop of red, that I dislike. The coordination of sort of the red handbag and red shoes, that does not do anything for me. I greatly dislike it, but a red t-shirt is fine. Absolutely fabulous t-shirt. So, you know, I love the Hanes t-shirts. I have a particular affinity to the Hanes t-shirts because I love the Hanes beefy t-shirts. But in general, I love a merch t-shirt. I'm not really sure what they're actually called, but I call them merch t-shirts. This one's Fruit of the Loom, 100% cotton. Anything heavy cotton, I absolutely adore. Following on from this, I even indulged in something maybe even a bit more dramatic. In case you can't read, it says life is a game, but bingo is serious. I thought that was really funny. Never fear, I'm still a raging pessimist. Just a raging pessimist in a pink t-shirt. Other motifs and patterns that I enjoy at the moment. We've got flaming skull, skull and crossbones, eagle, Hawaiian, tie-dye, Union Jack, Princess Diana. I actually found on Vinted the other day a Union Jack bandana with Princess Diana's face on it. I must buy that. You all know I love a Hawaiian shirt. A Hawaiian shirt on holiday is the funniest thing ever. Another thing that I've said before that I want to take back, I said this. I need to stop buying graphic tees because I'm an adult and if I have Louis XIII on my t-shirt, no one will take me seriously. I need to get rid of my graphic t-shirts and replace them with plain white t-shirts. Now everyone loves Louis XIII. I kind of want to gatekeep him because I feel like I loved him before everyone else loved him. If you have never seen Weird Weekends, you are a fake Louis XIII fan. Okay, that's what I will say on that. I know I've said before about graphic t-shirts. I would love to buy a Nirvana t-shirt. I really want a Nirvana t-shirt. Fashion is a concept, right? And I don't think that necessarily means wear a skirt atop a pant. I'm not really sure what that conveys. However, I really want to get a Nirvana t-shirt. Do I know much about Nirvana? Not particularly. But the concept of rage baiting East London men by wearing a Nirvana t-shirt makes me very excited. That's definitely something I would want to do. That's something that fashion should be used for, I think. You know, and it doesn't have to be Nirvana, just some kind of band or even franchise that you're very uninterested in and don't know much about, that you couldn't really hold a conversation about. Wearing a t-shirt from someone unfamiliar. That's a great idea. That's such a great idea. And Nirvana just seems like the obvious choice because everyone seems to have a Nirvana t-shirt. I just want someone to come up to me and ask me to name 3 songs. And actually, furthermore along those lines, wearing a football jersey from a country you've never been to, you do not support, you have no affiliation with at all, or even better, being on holiday in a football jersey from a country neither from which you come from nor that you are in, being in Brazil in a South African jersey, both yellow and green. This is what fashion is for, is it not? Just rage baiting everyone. I'm so funny. Okay, and then I wanted to go on to the pillars of the Ash Callaghan uniform. Whilst I was sulking, I think I kind of lost these. So my pillars are, first one, socks and sandals, obviously, and I kind of lost this to the vibrant 5 fingers. I think I got a little bit obsessed. And don't get me wrong, I still love them. I still absolutely adore them. But I must never forget sock and flip-flop. The sock and flip-flop combination is a uniform to me. I shall not hear a bad word said about it. Jeans, sock and a flip-flop. Absolutely fabulous. I have so many pairs of flip-flops, but on my list is a glitter jelly pink pair of flip-flops. I really like slip-on shoes, easy slip-on shoes with socks. And something that I got rather interested in was making a purchase of the Willie Petts J.W. Anderson clogs, the frog clogs. I don't know what they're called, the Willipet clogs. However, I don't think he makes them anymore. I don't think they're being made anymore, and they do cost about £500, and that is ridiculous for what is essentially a pair of Crocs. Genuinely, I really wanted a pair of these, so much so that I substituted with my own, which I think in the past I've said it's not a great solution, buying something that's subpar. Nothing that's nearly right. I've said this in the past, and I called it the Pink Lady theory. If you remember, the OGs will remember. I need to stop buying things that are nearly right. But at the same time, I'm very impulsive, so I did it anyway. Absolutely adore them. Rocking around Asda in some fish flops. To me, that's fashion. And final thing that I want to talk to you about, which I think is another pillar of the Ash Callaghan uniform, is perfume. Fragrance, if you will. I love perfume, scents, fragrance. I absolutely adore it. And I think it doesn't necessarily have to be perfume either. In fact, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, actually, is that I'm sick of the smell of perfume. I said before in my perfume video that I like white florals. It's more specific than that. I think I do not like the smell of perfume. I've come to realise I don't like the smell of perfume, and I've come to realise that all perfumes kind of smell the same. It's a chemical smell, isn't it? It's a smell of perfume. You come and you hug someone and you're like, oh, you're wearing perfume, right? I don't want that for myself. I'm not going to reveal what perfume I wear, what specific brand of perfume I wear, because I think that that's a very intimate piece of information. Only people who have had the pleasure of hugging me know what I smell like, and I want to keep it that way. But I will tell you that I don't want to smell like perfume anymore. I want to smell like flowers. I actually want to smell like a flower. So yes, I do like white florals, but specifically, and I don't think I've articulated it before, I want to smell like a flower. I want to smell like jasmine. I don't want it to be like notes of jasmine sort of squashed between vanilla or whatever. I want to smell of jasmine, like walking past a jasmine bush. I want to smell like walking in the countryside amongst gorse, that coconut sort of sun cream smell. I really enjoy that. I want a natural smell, and I'm not saying natural like it has to be sort of, glossy, a second skin, or sweat, sperm, spunk and spit, or whatever the marketing strategy is. It doesn't have to be animalic, but still natural, so it still smells like a flower, not this chemical smell. I have this little roll-on thing that I put on my pillow to make it smell like lavender, and it supposedly helps you sleep, but I never sleep, and I'm not really sure if it helps or not. But the smell of lavender, the natural smell of flowers, I really enjoy. I do have perfume, not just lavender oils and stuff. I do have perfumes, and when I say white florals, I have a lot of white floral musky scents. I think it sort of dulls it a little bit. I quite like the dulling effect that musk has. A white floral musk is probably my favourite scent. I despise sweet food-like smells. Marshmallow, candy floss, vanilla. They make me feel sick. They literally make me feel sick. A vanilla perfume is just not me. I can't stand it. However, the smell of walking behind a 19-year-old fresher with a Lost Mary, grape flavoured, secretly I quite enjoy that. Don't vape kids, it's not cool. Don't smoke, it's not healthy. We're in a bit of a dilemma as a society. Vaping is seriously uncool, but smells great. Smoking smells awful, but is pretty cool. I don't smoke because it just smells awful to me. Not necessarily the smell of tobacco either, just the smell of someone who smokes. It just never leaves. It never leaves. I don't really care if I live or die tomorrow, so whatever health implications there are for smoking, I couldn't really care less. However, I don't want my corpse to smell like tobacco. I'd rather smell like flowers. And actually, probably bad similarity to draw from this, but I'm really interested in the Demeter fragrances. They have one called like Funeral Home or something like that. Baby powder, might indulge. They have quite natural smelling scents. And also the smell of skin. That's such a libre d'ange thing to say. Not the smell of skin, but having your skin smell of something. I love the smell of sun cream. Everyone loves the smell of sun cream. It makes you feel something, right? It's not just the smell of perfume, like, oh, you smell like this, chemical perfume. It's the smell of summer. I love the smell of coconut. At the moment, my skin smells like coconut butter. Is my current scent of choice. Layering perfumes is a complete myth. It's just a pretentious way of saying I'm wearing 2 perfumes at the same time. That's a lie. That's a marketing technique to make you buy more perfumes. However, I do believe that there's a contrast between wearing a perfume, a spray that will sort of cling onto your clothes also and sort of cling onto the air as you walk, and the scent of your skin, which you can only really smell if it's close to you. Right? And I think that there is value in that. I don't believe men should wear male fragrances. They're too much. They're too much. I would prefer a man to smell like fabric softener and moisturizer, personally. Failing that, honestly, buy a unisex perfume or a floral perfume. Trust me. Even if you don't trust me, try it out. I swear by it. And yes, I think that's everything else I have for today. All I have left to say is welcome back to the Educational Podcast. That's everything I have time for today. I really hope you enjoyed that. I will be back, as I say, for the foreseeable future. Back to regular scheduled broadcasting. My next video is going to be on whimsy, so do tune into that. I've done a lot of research on it. Okay, yep, that's all I have for today. Thank you for tuning in. See you soon. Bye.
Oh. That's it. I'm not going.